and then we're going to get recording is in process. Okay, well, welcome to another day in paradise, everybody. We are going to get started because we've got lots of great stuff to cover, and we're just going to let everybody kind of jump in as we go. So I'm just going to go ahead, share my screen, and we'll let people in as we go. Let's see. Let's close that. No, there we go. Alemania, Paraguay, South Korea, awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I love that video. And they keep playing beautiful videos, but we're going to go on because we don't have all day to watch videos. And our vision, we are the leader throughout the markets we serve, recognized as the real estate company of choice, committed to setting the ultimate standard within the luxury real estate market. And guys, who watched the last town hall? I think we all say we did, right? And if you missed it, you can watch it because it is out there for you to watch on YouTube. But you know what was so exciting? Did anybody notice? Quick question for the crowd. For 10 points, what do you get with 10 points? You can see you get something special at your business planning meeting. What is it? I won't tell. It's a secret. Come on in. Woo! Okay, here's the question. At the last town hall, which happened 2 weeks ago, which region was the #1 region of growth?
Central Florida.
And who is the team that has the most offices and covers the most region? We are! So that means you guys are killing it. So woo! Congratulations to each and every one of you. So when I say you are setting standards, breaking records, you are killing it. Great job. So proud of each and every one of you. So I don't know if Maria's on. Is Maria Smith on yet? Maria, she's not here, which is very weird because she usually comes. Maria, she's breaking her own standard of not being here. All right, so but we do have our illustrious Miss Maud Stefanski. And she's going to share with us some exciting, wonderful new things that the company is doing. For those of you who haven't seen our fabulous new listing presentation, also I'm hoping that she could share with us some really fun things about the newest active pipe. We have that awesome, finally, we've been waiting for it, those integrative AI campaigns. So perhaps Maud, you can share some of those things as well. So I've given
Absolutely.
share your screen, so take it away.
All righty. Well, thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see all of you. Even if you're hiding behind your Zoom cameras, it's all good. I hope everyone's doing well. I will kick it off with what Carrie just mentioned regarding the new active pipe. I'll call them drip campaigns for lack of better term. So these were mentioned at the town hall, and there are going to be a couple of those campaigns. They're not yet released. They're coming out super soon. I will, of course, send you all an email to make you aware once they're available. And I will also be hosting some training so you can get comfortable with those new campaigns. But basically, we've set up some drip campaigns within ActivePipe, and you'll be able to add your customers onto those just by adding a tag or putting your customers into a specific group if you have your contacts feeding from MyHub into ActivePipe. So again, I know this kind of sounds like a lot, but don't worry at all. We're going to be here to hold your hand and to really help you set these up and take advantage of them once they're available. My guess is probably within the month they will be available. available. I just don't have an exact date yet. So we'll definitely keep y'all posted on that. And then I will go ahead and share my screen here. I really wanted to cover the new listing presentation, the updated buyer's guide that we just released for y'all, and the different ways that you can access these, in print and digital, and how you can also share them with your potential customers. So at this time, you should have received in all of our offices the new beautiful printed format of the new buyer's guide and the listing presentation. I have the digital version pulled up here. Let me just move some stuff on my Zoom. This is what the buyer's guide cover looks like. So be on the lookout for that in your office. And then the listing presentation has a cover like this. And the pattern that you're seeing here is actually a texture on that cover page. I'll give you a little fun fact here. This is actually a pattern that Sotheby's had specifically created for the Sotheby's brand. And it's a pattern that you're going to see becoming more and more incorporated in both marketing and promotional materials. So just to kind of give you a little tidbit, if you look closely here, you can see that the pattern actually kind of forms an S. So you can see, that's an echo. Oh, there we go. You can see the pattern actually kind of forms an S. So this is all intentional and it was all thought out very well. But that being said, I want to share with you the different ways that you have access to these new materials. Like I said, you have them in your offices. And then if you head on over to My Hub and you go into Insight, on Insight, you're going to be able to go to 05 Marketing from your left menu, and then Marketing, Flyers, and Brochures. And scrolling down here, you'll see the buyer's guide and the listing presentation. We have updated these. The little previews have not been updated yet, but the new materials are in here. So you can send your buyer's guide or listing presentation via a PDF or a digital flipbook version. Again, these are perfect to share with buyers or sellers that may be out of town or that you may not be able to meet with in person. And just to kind of give you a little preview, the flipbooks are beautiful. They look like this. They're very interactive. Or you have option as a PDF. So this will give you the 2-page PDF. Yes.
Is it also in presentation suite so that they can put their own testimonials in and their bio and all that?
It sure is. So we have both available to you in presentation suite. All
can you
these
show them where they find it?
I can, yes. These templates are built out with a page ready for you to just drop in your headshot, your bio, some testimonial. I actually hosted a training on this on Tuesday and nobody joined me, so I was a little disappointed. So be on the lookout for those trainings and be sure to jump on them if you want to kind of follow along with how to customize this. So let me pull this up real quick. And I'm just going into presentation suite and you'll see it's super easy to locate these and customize them. Once you are in presentation suite, you would just go to My Templates in the bottom left corner. And they're the first 2 templates you see here. PSER 2021 Buyer's Guide and 2021 Listing Presentation. And I'll just open one of them to show you as a sample. When you open up the template, if you scroll down, you'll see that the customizable pages are on 4, 5, 6, and 7. And just as a quick note, because I've gotten some questions here, what is this video for? This would be if you had an evoker video created, you could drop that in here. But of course, if you did not, that's okay. You can drop one of our brand videos in here, or maybe our Central Florida Premier Sotheby's video.
Could you also do a video that you created and hosted on YouTube?
Yeah, you certainly could. That definitely works too. And then at the very bottom of the listing presentation or the last few pages, we also give you the option to add in some featured properties, whether those are past sales, current listings, anything that you really want to showcase. All right, so they're available digitally pre-made, or you can customize them in presentation suite. I also wanted to show you on Insight, if we head on over to 05 Marketing, And we scroll down to social media library. If you scroll down in the library, you're going to see that we created these 2 social media pieces, and this is what they look like. There's one for the buyer's guide and one for the listing presentation. And basically you can post these on social media, and this is the main message here. I am pleased to share the new piece or portfolio of marketing services for my sellers. You could also add something like, if you're thinking of buying, the moment is now, reach out to me today and let's have a conversation. So these are just additional assets for you to share on your social media pages. And finally, we have
show them where those awesome pieces that were about that we talked about with the 2 agents, one from another, maybe a Sotheby's somewhere else, where we're going global. We're here locally, we're globally.
I believe those are in active pipe. I'm not sure. I would have to look that up. Let me just show really quickly the active pipe templates for the buyer's guides and the listing presentation. So just want to bring this to your attention as well. In active pipe under shared emails, if you just scroll down a little bit, when you get to this page, you'll see there is an email to share the buyer's guides and listing presentation here. And the message is going to be similar to what you're seeing on these social media pieces. And then Carrie, your question was regarding, let me stop my share and try to find these.
So guys, we were at this awesome meeting last week. As you all know, I got ninja-fied again, and also a leadership meeting. And they had this fabulous social media piece that was created to show how we as a brand are so collaborative, and we can help you coast to coast, globally. And so it shows a picture of you here in our market and somebody that you worked with in a referral in another market. It's a beautiful piece.
It sure is. And thank you for bringing that up, Carrie. So this is an email that y'all should have received from Alex Romine, our wonderful relocation and referrals director. She shared this last Thursday, and it gives you a sampling of what these pieces look like. Because they are custom, meaning your headshot and the other agent's headshot would be in there, as well as the property photo and the property info. What you'll want to do is put in a creative request if you would like to request either a social media piece, a social media story, or an active pipe template like this. So I will show y'all where you can go to submit that request. Just have to share my screen in a different way. All right.
And guys, we need to be doing this, especially for social media. We are a huge collaborative brand. There is no company that does what we do. And we need to be saying to our customers, wherever they are, we have you covered. We can help you from one corner of the globe to the other. Wherever you happen to reside, wherever you're happening to be going, we can help you. And that is the point of this beautiful piece. So we're going to help you with white glove service, customer service from beginning to end, from wherever you're coming from, for wherever you're going, for whatever type of real estate needs that you are. That is the point of this campaign. Use it. It's beautiful. And we are constantly doing that, right? We're constantly working with other real estate agents. And it also will help to increase your relationships with the agents and the other companies, right? And that's a beautiful thing. So you want to do that.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better, Carrie. You're amazing. So if y'all want to request some of these custom pieces, it's as easy as just going into Insight and 05 Marketing. And then you're going to scroll down to Personal Associate Advertising / Creative Process. And then you'll see right here, there's a little button for Associate New Creative Request. So you would just fill out your contact info, let us know what you're looking for. Here you could just do other, and you could just say referrals, social media piece. And then you would just provide us the information on the sale, who the other agent was that was involved in the sale, and then we'll put it together for you beautifully.
Or if you're totally lazy like me, could you just take that piece that was forwarded to you, send it to you mode and say, I want this, but I want this person, and this property?
You sure could. I am in meetings most of the day, so you may experience a little lag with that. If you want to submit your request immediately, you can use that form, but if you prefer that I submit the request for you, I'm happy to do it as soon as I get to your email. All right.
Yeah.
So
depends if you're lazy or if you're really good at filling in forms. There you go, guys. The choice is yours.
Or option number 3, you can email me and ask me for the form. That happens all the time too. So whatever's easiest for y'all, really. Let me know how I can help you with that. And did anybody have any questions on anything covered? We looked at the buyer's guide, the listing presentation, those referral pieces.
Our systems, how we did everything.
I don't think we have any questions. I think we have someone off of mute, but that's all good. If y'all try to access these and have any troubles, please feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to help you find these items.
Thank you so much, Mode. Amazing as always. We love you. Oh, we got something from
Thank
the
you for
chat. Hang on
having
one
me.
second. Wait, we have a question. Alejandro, go with your question. Go.
Morning. So you were saying, Mode, that to find the pieces, it's for the new listing presentation, that's going to be an active pipe already?
Yes, so they are in Active Pipe, they are in Presentation Suite, and in the social media library. So there's a couple of different assets for you to use. Do you want me to walk back through how to find them on Active Pipe?
I think I can go through it and check it out. I just wanted to make sure that they were on there. So
they are, yeah. You can also use the little search bar when you're looking at emails for Active Pipe, and you can search, for example, buyer's guide or listing presentation, and it'll pop right up so you don't have to like scroll through other templates that may be above them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Also, so you guys know, let's say you create that beautiful customized version of your listing presentation in Presentation Suite, right? What do you do with it then? Do you put it on your website? Great idea. Who thought of that? That was awesome idea. Yes, you would do that. And you're going to embed it into probably a page that, I don't know, maybe I helped you create already. And if I didn't, come see me, we will create it. And how are you going to embed it? What is the button? 10 points. What is the button on your website? Thank you, Becky. What is the button on your website that you would embed a flip book with? Shane, you know this.
YouTube.
Our website. YouTube! Oh my God, Alejandro! 10 points to Alejandro. You get something cool for 10 points.
That wasn't me. That was, I think, Ray.
Rafe! Sorry.
Yeah, that was me.
No. Rafe, you know what? You get a bonus point for being honest, but Rafe, you get the 10.
Hey, at least I get a bonus point.
I was gonna let it go as well. I was gonna let him take the credit.
And then you'll get 11 points because that was nice. What do these points equate to? I'm not sure. Maybe a nice espresso. Oh wait, we have those machines in the office. I just have so much fun. Okay, so any thoughts or any more questions about our awesome new pieces that we already have created for you? No. All right, great. We're also going to be talking as you're meeting with me, doing your business planning. I've already met with several of you. I'm going to be meeting with every one of you, right? Yes, awesome. So excited, looking forward to it. I want you all to be thinking about your database, your auto flow, and all these pieces, how they can help you get more business, right? That's the point. We don't create this stuff just for fun. We create it to help you get business. That's what we're here for, right? So start thinking about how we can use this creatively to help grow your business, okay? So we're going to work on that. So back to our presentation. So exciting. All right, how many of you guys joined in on the Global Connect? I know several of you did. Miss Jennifer, how did it go?
I didn't get it.
No?
I don't know if I logged in. I tried to communicate with other people, but this is my first time. I don't know if I just didn't know what I was doing.
Technical difficulties?
Yeah,
Okay.
technical, but,
Okay,
I
Emily,
was here at the office.
please share. Tell us how your experience went.
It went really well. I did a couple hours of it. And I think the person from the furthest away that I met was Marwan. And he is opening up a brokerage in Cairo, Egypt. And he said, it's pretty exciting. He said over the next year or next couple years, they're going to open 5 brokerages in Egypt. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. And I'm going to share something kind of along those lines. I met with Cliff Long yesterday. I had a fabulous meeting with our illustrious CEO of Aura. As the board of directors, I don't know, my head's still spinning. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but a lot of things. I'm not really sure. But anyway, but with Aura, we have a lot of really great plans to get involved globally as well. So I think with Sotheby's and between Sotheby's and Aura, there's a lot of exciting stuff. So the more we can get involved with our partners, you know, across this ocean, across the, you know, the nation, I think we're going to see lots of exciting things happening. So that's awesome. So thank you, Emily. Anybody else want to share? I mean, as you can see, there was more than 2,000 people who attended from 34 countries. So they had more than 5,900 meetings and over 3,700 connections were made. That's pretty cool. Anybody else have a success story or anything that they want to share, good or bad or ugly? Hopefully the good or
I do.
good. Yeah, share.
So I made a goal of talking to 18 people
I
for
love
the
it.
day. And of the 18, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is.
It is.
And of it, I probably had 3 really great connections. But more
Nice.
importantly than the people I was on the call with, I asked them who specializes in their market, what I specialize in, and they referred me to people, and I connected that way and had really great success. So
That's great.
it wasn't the people I was necessarily like just automatically on the dial with, but they're like, you really should talk to so and so. And then I connected through, you know, Facebook, and then looked him up, and then we did a private call afterwards with those people. So it actually was really beneficial for me.
I love that. That is and that is our brand, guys. Let's use the brand, leverage the brand, because that is one thing I've always heard Judy Green used to say all the time. When I first came here, I thought it sounded a little creepy, to be honest, but now I really understand it. It's called the gift of the brand. It truly is. I've never been to a place where people want to collaborate. They want to connect. You know, a lot of places they're like, who are you? What can you do for me? You know, really, that's the thing. It's like, if you can't do something for me, I don't want to talk to you. But here, people want to talk to you, and then they want to help you. They're like, oh, I know somebody who can help you. It's like crazy. It's really awesome. So
I would love to see an East Coast one. I would love to see an East Coast one, because holy California, I mean, people in LA could never understand at all what I do here, nor do I have people that go there necessarily, but I would love to see an East Coast one, because those people are dripping down to Florida. That's what I got from it.
Yes. And
That's
you know,
my personal opinion.
They have them all the time. So it's one of those things that you just kind of have to keep watching. They do have East Coast Level Up. They have one, Sotheby's always puts on a Level Up. They have them all the time. And you'll be seeing more and more of them as time rolls on. I think now that hey, Susan, I won't say over COVID, because I think it's something that we're just going to have to kind of, it's the new norm, right? I don't know that you're like, did you ever get over the flu, right? I don't know, but it's something that I like the new haircut. It's something that we're all just going to have to become kind of accustomed to dealing with. And now I think we're just going to start seeing more of these things emerge again. And you never know. Who knows? Maybe Premier may be involved with one of them again. I mean, we used to hold our own kind of sort of thing. So you never know. But it's exciting, and you definitely will be seeing a lot more. And I love even these opportunities to connect virtually, because what a great opportunity to connect with people in Cairo, right? Like, without getting on a plane and trying to meet somebody in Cairo. That's amazing. So, you know, these are all great opportunities. And I wanted to bring to your attention, those of you who did take the opportunity to log in and get registered, if you go back in, you had to have been logged in before, because I tried to do this, but I never logged in because I knew I couldn't attend, which was a bummer, because I went to try to do this and I couldn't because I hadn't logged in previously. But if you go back in, you log back in to connect to the site, they have this little survey that you fill in. You click back to hop in button. See, I couldn't do the hop in button thing, and I wouldn't get the survey because I never previously registered. But then you have the little account in your top right page. All your connections are there, and you connect directly to them via email or social media. All their information is there. So if you didn't have the opportunity to connect and get all their information with the people that you spoke to, you can do it very simply right here. which is so cool because that was one thing the last time we did the virtual G&E, it was like trying to remember and connect with everybody was very difficult. Here they have it now all together. So that's really cool. So if anybody has not had that opportunity to do that, I wanted to bring this to your attention that they have tracked it for you because the virtual one, you actually had to hit a button to have them track it. Whoopsie, I didn't do that. And so I only realized that about halfway through. And so I only had about half of my contacts tracked. But here, I guess they were tracking it for you. So as long as you had logged in, it was tracked for you. So that's kind of cool. Has anybody done this? Has anybody logged in and done the survey? And well, good. I'm glad I'm bringing that up. Excellent. Okay, so great news. That's all pretty cool. And let's see, moving on. Another thing, guys, we're going to do coming up, you'll see in the schedule, but how to get your business set. Right now, we're heading into holidays, right? So this is the time to stand out because what are most people doing? Nothing. They're going to get ready for the holidays. They're going to forget about their business. And then January is going to come and they're going to panic. But we're not going to do that. We're going to set ourselves up for success. And we don't have to not enjoy our holidays. We can still enjoy our holidays, but we're going to do it the right way and be set up for success. So that's part of the making sure we're set up for business. That's part of making sure that our databases are ready. That's part of making sure that our auto flow, that our touch plans, that's another way to call it, that everything's ready to go, that we don't have to think about it. I like to say set and forget, right? Let's make sure that we are set up for success so that what we can do is what we got into real estate to do. Real estate's a relationship business. We didn't get into it to be marketeers. We didn't get into it to be IT. We didn't get into be website designers, right? I mean, most of us didn't, right? We got in it to be relationships, to be talking and helping with people. That's why we got into it. So let's focus on the stuff that we can do to get the things that have to be done out of the way so it'll be ready to go so that we can focus on what we love to do, connect with people. And guess what? As time moves on, that's what's going to set us apart because NAR does a study every year asking about what people think about our service, how they feel about us. And they always say we give good service. They always say they're going to use us again, but the percentage of people that actually use us is so significantly low. You know, it ends up being about 30% of people who listed their homes with us actually reuse us again. You know that? But they say about 89% of people say they will use us. Do you know why that is?
Because somebody else's
lack of follow-up.
Okay.
They don't know how to reach us. Gosh, that's the saddest story I've ever heard. But because, you know, they don't buy a home every year, right? So by the time they're ready to move again, they're like, gosh, Shane, yeah, where was he? I don't know. I know, you know, they don't have your card handy. They don't have it imprinted on your forehead. So they don't know how to reach you. But you know who else they do know? Probably 10 to 12 other realtors that have been in contact with them recently. That is the most important thing. So it is critical that we stay in flow, in contact with our people as humans, as relationships, as friends, right? That's the beautiful thing about our industry. We get to create relationships. It's not just about a transaction. If you're a transaction, we're transaction brokers, yes, but we are not just doing a transaction. We are building relationships. And, you know, when you think about, and I love this example because it's scary. Blockbuster was studied, right? And at the time when they looked at Blockbuster, everyone thought Blockbuster was an amazing company, right? Reputation was stellar. You know, it was a wonderful service that they provided, right? But relevance, low. Right? And what happened to them? They had an opportunity to buy what company? Netflix. And what did they say? No, thank you. We prefer to stick with our beautiful in-house service where people come and buy and rent out their little, you know, discs. And where are they today? Nowhere. Okay. Well, guess what? They did that same study about realtors and they said, our reputation is stellar, thank God. But this is realtors, not real estate agents, okay? You know, they said our customer service, very high. Thank God. You know what they said about our relevance? Low. It was the same profile as Blockbuster. So what does that mean for us? We have to stand out. And is it our fancy tech tools that are going to stand out? No. How are we going to be different? Customer service. People are always going to want that relationship. You know, they're not going to want you just to pass them off. So you have to understand what makes us different. You better know our numbers. You better know that Sotheby's has 1,000 offices worldwide. You better know we're in 74 countries and territories. We're 24,000 associates, and we just did $150 billion of sales. You need to know that because that's who we are, right? Because who we are speaks to our reputation. It speaks to a level of service we're going to give. Premier Sotheby's, right? How many different offices do we have? Anybody? 41. We're in over 60 locations because we have different developments, right? We have we're over 1,300 associates, okay? And we're in 2 different states, right? And so far, year to date, we've done over $8.1 billion in sales. That's Premier Sotheby's. And in the scope of Sotheby's International Realty and the number of affiliates, what number are we? Number 2. We're the second largest in volume. What does that say? Can we handle your sale? Yes. But what tells them about how good we are going to be with you as a relationship? You. Right? That is all up to you. And that is up to how we stay in contact with them. That is up to, so we can talk about, you have to know our stats. You have to be able to, if you don't keep up with that, that is who we are. That tells them, gives them the confidence, right? This is the growth. This is the exciting stuff, but it's really all about you. It is that relationship that we build that's going to make the difference. So I want to show you this TED Talk. Has anybody seen this? This is great. I'm going to share this with you now.
All right, I want to see a show of hands. How many of you have unfriended someone on Facebook because they said something offensive about politics or religion,
It's up there,
childcare, food?
It's right there.
And how many of you know at least one person that you avoid because you just don't want to talk to them? You know, it used to be that in order to have a polite conversation, we just had to follow the advice of Henry Higgins and My Fair Lady, stick to the weather and your health. But these days, with climate change and anti-vaxxing, those subjects are not safe either. So this world that we live in, this world in which every conversation has the potential to devolve into an argument, where our politicians can't speak to one another, and where even the most trivial of issues have someone fighting both passionately for it and against it, it's not normal. Pew Research did a study of 10,000 American adults, and they found that at this moment, we are more polarized, we are more divided than we ever have been in history. We're less likely to compromise, which means we're not listening to each other. And we make decisions about where to live, who to marry, and even who our friends are going to be based on what we already believe. Again, that means we're not listening to each other. A conversation requires a balance between talking and listening, and somewhere along the way, we lost that balance. Now, part of that is due to technology, these smartphones that you all either have in your hands or close enough that you can grab them really quickly. According to Pew Research, about a third of American teenagers send more than 100 texts a day. And many of them, almost most of them, are more likely to text their friends than they are to talk to them face to face. There's this great piece in The Atlantic. It was written by a high school teacher named Paul Barnwell. And he gave his kids a communication project. He wanted to teach them how to speak on a specific subject without using notes. And he said this: I came to realize that conversational competence might be the single most overlooked skill we fail to teach. Kids spend hours each day engaging with ideas and each other through screens, but rarely do they have an opportunity to hone their interpersonal communication skills. It might sound like a funny question, but we have to ask ourselves, is there any 21st century skill more important than being able to sustain coherent, confident conversation? Now, I make my living talking to people. Nobel Prize winners, truck drivers, billionaires, kindergarten teachers, heads of state, plumbers. I talk to people that I like. I talk to people that I don't like. I talk to some people that I disagree with deeply on a personal level, but I still have a great conversation with them. So I'd like to spend the next 10 minutes or so teaching you how to talk and how to listen. Many of you have already heard a lot of advice on this. Things like look a person in the eye, think of interesting things, topics discussed in advance, nod and smile to show that you're paying attention. Repeat back what you just heard or summarize it. So I want you to forget all of that. It is crap. There's no reason to learn how to show you're paying attention if you are in fact paying attention. Now, I actually use the exact same skills as a professional interviewer that I do in regular life. So I'm going to teach you how to interview people, and that's actually going to help you learn how to be better conversationalists. Learn to have a conversation without wasting your time, without getting bored, and please God, without offending anybody. We've all had really great conversations. We've had them before. We know what it's like. The kind of conversation when you walk away feeling engaged and inspired, or where you feel like you've made a real connection or you've been perfectly understood. There is no reason why most of your interactions can't be like that. So I have 10 basic rules. I'm going to walk you through all of them, but honestly, if you just choose one of them and master it, you're already going to enjoy better conversations. Number one, don't multitask. And I don't mean just set down your cell phone or your tablet or your car keys or whatever's in your hand. I mean, be present, be in that moment. Don't be thinking about your argument you have with your boss. Don't be thinking about what you're going to have for dinner. If you want to get out of the conversation, get out of the conversation, but don't be half in it and half out of it. Number two, don't pontificate. If you wanted to state your opinion without any opportunity for response or argument or pushback or growth, write a blog. Now, there's a really good reason why I don't allow pundits on my show, because they're really boring. If they're a conservative, they're going to hate Obama and food stamps and abortion. If they're a liberal, they're going to hate big banks, oil corporations, and Dick Cheney. Totally predictable. And you don't want to be like that. You need to enter every conversation assuming that you have something to learn. The famed therapist Ed Scott Peck said that true listening requires a setting aside of oneself. And sometimes that means setting aside your personal opinion. He said that sensing this acceptance, the speaker will become less and less vulnerable and more likely to open up the inner recesses of his or her mind to the listener. Again, assume that you have something to learn. Bill Nye, everyone you will ever meet knows something that you don't. I put it this way, everybody is an expert in something. Number three, use open-ended questions. In this case, take a cue from journalists. Start your questions with who, what, where, when, why, or how. If you put in a complicated question, you're going to get a simple answer out. If I ask you, were you terrified? You're going to respond to the most powerful word in that sentence, which is terrified. And the answer is, yes, I was, or no, I wasn't. Were you angry? Yes, I was very angry. Let them describe it. They're the ones that know. Try asking them things like, what was that like? How did that feel? Because then they might have to stop for a moment and think about it. And you're going to get a much more interesting response. Number four, go with the flow. That means thoughts will come into your mind and you need to let them go out of your mind. We've heard interviews often in which a guest is talking for several minutes and then the host comes back in and asks a question which seems like it comes out of nowhere or it's already been answered. That means the host probably stopped listening 2 minutes ago because he thought of this really clever question and he was just bound and determined to say that. And we do the exact same thing. We're sitting there having a conversation with someone and then we remember that time that we met Hugh Jackman in a coffee shop. And we stop listening. Stories and ideas are going to come to you. You need to let them come and let them go. Number 5, if you don't know, say that you don't know. Now, people on the radio, especially on NPR, are much more aware that they're going on the record. And so they're more careful about what they claim to be an expert in and what they claim to know for sure. Do that. Err on the side of caution. Talk should not be cheap. Number 6, don't equate your experience with theirs. If they're talking about having lost a family member, don't start talking about the time that you lost a family member. If you're talking about the trouble that they're having at work, don't tell them about how much you hate your job. It's not the same. It is never the same. All experiences are individual. And more importantly, it is not about you. You don't need to take that moment to prove how amazing you are or how much you suffered. Somebody asked Stephen Hawking once what his IQ was, and he says, I have no idea. People who brag about their IQs are losers. Conversations are not a promotional opportunity. Number 7, try not to repeat yourself. It's condescending and it's really boring. And we tend to do it a lot, especially in work conversations or in conversations with our kids. We have a point to make, so we just keep rephrasing it over and over. Don't do that. Number 8, stay out of the weeds. Frankly, people don't care about the years, the names, the dates, all those details that you're struggling to come up with in your mind. They don't care. What they care about is you. They care about what you have in common. So forget the Number 9, this is not the last one, but it is the most important one. Listen. I cannot tell you how many really important people have said that listening is perhaps the number one most important skill that you can develop. Buddha said, and I'm paraphrasing, if your mouth is open, you're not learning. And Calvin Coolidge said, no man ever listened his way out of a job. Why do we not listen to each other? Number 1, we'd rather talk. When I'm talking, I'm in control. I don't have to hear anything I'm not interested in. I'm the center of attention. I can bolster my own identity. But there's another reason. We get distracted. The average person talks at about 225 words per minute, but we can listen at up to 500 words per minute. So our minds are filling in those other 275 words. And look, I know it takes effort and energy to actually pay attention to someone. But if you can't do that, you're not in a conversation. You're just two people shouting out barely related sentences in the same place. You have to listen to one another. Stephen Covey said it very beautifully. He said, most of us don't listen with the intent to understand. We listen with the intent to reply. One more rule, and number 10, and it's this one, be brief. All of this boils down to the same basic concept, and it is this one. Be interested in other people. You know, I grew up with a very famous grandfather, and there was kind of a ritual in my home. People would come over to talk to my grandparents, and after they would leave, my mother would come over to us and she'd say, do you know who that was? She was the runner-up to Miss America. He was the mayor of Sacramento. She won a Pulitzer Prize. He's a Russian ballet dancer. And I kind of grew up assuming everyone has some hidden amazing thing about them. And honestly, I think it's what makes me a better host. I keep my mouth shut as often as I possibly can. I keep my mind open, and I'm always prepared to be amazed, and I'm never disappointed. You do the same thing. Go out, talk to people, listen to people, and most importantly, be prepared to be amazed. Thanks.
So what did you guys think of that? That was pretty cool, right? So the important thing I want you to think about as we move into this holiday season is you're going to talk to people, have a conversation, right? Because again, Sotheby's stands for itself. Premier Sotheby's can stand for itself. You can stand for yourself. You're all amazing people. Just be present. So the other thing I want to arm you with in this time right now is another tool when you're in that conversation, because we're still in a bit of a situation where we are in a conversation for commission. Would you all agree? If I said to you, what is one thing that's kind of still a challenge when you do get that listing presentation? People are trying to chew you down on your commission, right? So here's a new technique I just learned that I love. It's called negotiate for home plate. Okay, so this is how it goes. It's the commission conversation, and I love it. You call it out right up front. You know me, I like to call things out right up front. So you say, listen, you don't need us to get yourself an offer. You could put a sign in the yard, but that's only first base. You need us to negotiate for home plate. Is it not showing? It is, right?
No, it's showing.
So what does it take to get to negotiate for a whole contract, right? To close. There's 5 things. You have to negotiate on price. You have to negotiate terms. You negotiate dates. You negotiate for the inclusions and the exclusions, right? What's going to come in the contract, what's not going to come. And also you have to negotiate contingencies. So it's not just a contract. There's a lot of things included in that, right? And then you get that contract, but then you got to get all the inspections. That's second base. Then you got to get through all the loan situations and the appraisals, and we all know what a headache that all can be, right? And then you got to negotiate your way through home base. That's why you bring us. So sure, you can get that offer. You can get that offer accepted, but can you take it all the way to home base? That's why you hire Premier Sotheby's. What do you guys think about that? Right?
Yeah,
It
very
brings
good.
that value proposition a little bit clearer. It gives you, it's a baseball terminology. You feel comfortable with that or you don't. But I think it makes it a little bit more fun, but it really explains it a little bit clearer, doesn't it? So you really have to understand a contract is not simply here's the price, right? Know that there's 5 things that you're negotiating for. And you can ask the seller, you can get a contract. Well, there's 5 things that you're negotiating for. Do you know what these are? I'd love to ask the seller that. What do you think you're negotiating about? They're not going to know. Ask an agent. Most agents aren't going to know the 5 things you're negotiating for, right? And then let's talk about what the different things and the stages of the contract are, because that is the most important thing. So I just wanted to share that as another tool in your toolbox when they bring up that commission conversation. Any questions on that? Any thoughts on that? Okay. So the contract is here. Everybody been using it? It's in .loop. It is also in both parts. It's in every listing folder. Every contract folder, the as is, as the residential, also the condo folder. It's also in the loop template. So if you were to add it in when they add you to do the loop, which I hate that. For me, when you create a .loop, I hate you to add it as a loop template. I like you to create the whole loop and then add it after. But if you did add it at that time, I did change the contracts there too. Everybody with me? Anybody have a question on that, Zeta? Okay. Also, the 7 riders have been updated, and there's 3 new riders. So I put the post occupancy, the pre occupancy, the new FHA rider. Those have all been updated in there. I did not put in there the right to inspect and the right to cancel. Why did I not add that into our files? Because I hate them, because they're stupid. But if you need them, they are under Florida Interactive Forms. Why would I want you to use them? Because I hate them. But listen, if we are the ones asking for them, I don't feel so terrible about them. But if you're the ones accepting them, don't do that. If you're using a residential contract, don't accept them. Sale of buyer's property, I did not add that. That's under Florida Interactive Forms. But if you would like me to add that to a folder, I can. And the backup contract, I also did not add that to a folder. I can if you choose me to, if you ask me to. But again, that's under Florida Interactive Forms. The Homeowners Association has already been updated into our folders. Okay. Any questions on any of our updated forms, any of the contract changes? Just quickly to make sure, because I think we're still okay with time, the biggest changes you need to be aware of as an agent representing a buyer. When you're giving written notification, you can no longer use text. It does not count, right? You must send an email or go in front of them, but you cannot hand them a note, but you must use email. You cannot use text, number 1. I love the financing changes. That's the biggest changes in the contract. Remember, A, it is cash. No contingencies. Love it. If they get a loan, if they don't, nobody cares. It is cash. We're assuming to be cash. That's what that means. B, if it's a financing contingency, any type of appraisal or any kind of evaluation software that they're using, that valuation process must be completed during the loan approval period. It cannot go on past that loan approval period. It must be done and completed during that loan approval period. Very clean. Everybody good? Okay, excellent. Those are the biggest changes. Again, we already know the new acts of God. It covers everything that could possibly happen. It doesn't really affect us, so I don't really see that being a change. But if there were something, a government shutdown, and now we can't get some kind of things done, we would still want to get an addenda anyway, just to cover ourselves and for communication. But does the contract give you an automatic extension? Yes, 7 days, not 10 days. That's the change. Those are the big ones. Anybody else? And again, they're calling out what's included in the personal property a little bit differently with the doorbell. But does it say Ring? No. So I'm going to tell you, if your buyers are like, I really want that Ring doorbell, or if you see a Ring doorbell, you're going to ask your seller, are you planning on taking that Ring doorbell? Because if you are, you better take it out right away, or put it in the MLS that it's not conveying, because some people get crazy over stupid Ring doorbells, or plan to buy $100 Ring doorbell as a closing gift, because I have seen crazy things over stupid Ring doorbells. Okay. So I would tell you to still err on the side of caution and be very, very clear about what's conveying, what's not. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody having any thoughts, questions, or anything arise out of the new contracts? Those are really the biggest changes. Okay. Sorry, was that happiness, joy, and evil? Kind of. Everybody see the news about the Zillow Find Your Home, the iBuyer? Guess what they found out? Oh, so sad. It apparently seems that they plunged 25% since July of 2020. That is so surprising. Their shares have lost 2/3 of their value since February. Oh my goodness. They turned into a money-losing albatross. I loved that. They said that it's a third quarter earnings report on Tuesday. Their offers business, the company reported pre-tax loss of $422 million. That's their loss in their third quarter. Yeah. And they said ultimately it was too risky and too volatile to their earnings operation and too low of return on their equity opportunity that they had to stop and close the whole division. Oh, so sad. So sad. Now, funny enough, Redfin and also, I don't know if it was Open Door. I think it was Open Door. They both reported, oh, we're so surprised and so shocked. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, that Zillow has decided to do that because this has been so positive to our business. Can't wait till they report earnings. Although I don't know if they're publicly traded. I think Redfin is. So interestingly enough, but we shall see what's happening in the iBuyer space. Please hold, right? And that's what I say. But the end of the day, I didn't ever see this as the end to our business, because there will always be a segment of the population that will want what we offer, a relationship. You know, not everybody is always about the mighty dollar just wanting. And the truth of it is, have you seen some of these contracts? They're paying more commission than they would have if they worked with us. That's the reality. Some of these things, they're paying 10% commission. The buyer is paying 10% commission to purchase the house. It's insanity. The buyer's paying. And some of these contracts, exactly. They don't call commission. They call it other fees. So you have to look at some of these contracts that you're seeing. So it's what the buyers don't know, because they think, oh, I'm buying direct. It's interesting. Some of these things that you're looking at, and they don't know because they're buying direct from the seller. See, but look, we're cutting out the middleman. Isn't that great? So I think, in good time, all good things will get weeded out, right? That's how it works. But interestingly enough, Zillow has taken care of that itself. And now what do they have? A lot of bad debt on their books. So what does that mean? some inventory going to be flushed out into our market. So what does that mean to our, not inventory situation? We don't have an inventory situation. As you will see, I've done some numbers. Actually, most parts over town, our listing inventory is actually up. The standing inventory is down. And that's the way it's been. Our listings have always been up. The problem is that they sell so fast. It's our listing standing inventory that's down. We can't keep it there because we have what? A huge increase of qualified buyers. I take that problem any day. I'm okay with the problem. Bring them on. So this is still the situation, but it's going to be interesting because what happened with Zillow, as you can plainly see, and I've read more and more information about it, they have purchased homes at a price when they bought them that now they're upside down. That's what's happened. So they're going to have to sell them for less cost. So it's going to be interesting to see how it affects our market, but it will definitely provide some nice inventory into our market. So that's a good thing.
I read that 2/3 of the houses they bought,
Yep.
that they're having to sell for less than if they bought.
2/3 of them. You got it.
I wonder if it's the same agent's gonna sell them.
Well, they'll probably still use their Zillow people. So here, Veronica Ferraro will probably still sell them. Yeah, she's been their Zillow person. So to that point, here's Dr. Phillips. And you can see the green is the 32836 and the blue is the 8219. The listing inventory, the new listings rather, are up in 8219. They are still down in 32836, but this could turn around. Who knows? I don't think Zillow's bought a lot over there, but we'll see. Here in Windermere Winter Garden, which is the green one, is up. Look at the new listings. That is significantly up. It has taken a big turn up. Windermere is a little down still, but Winter Garden is up. And that is interesting. You'll also notice that I have been getting more emails, and I bet each one of you has been getting more emails from builders with inventory, giving closing costs and 3% commission. Have you been seeing it? Oh, so exciting.
There's one that's still offering only 1%.
Yeah, it's Lennar.
Lennar.
Yeah, Lennar. Claremont, still significantly down in new listings, so we'll be watching that. I don't know if Dawn's on, but I'd love to hear her take on if we're going to get some new listings in that area. Here's Lake Nona, and interestingly enough, 32827 is actually pretty significantly up in new listings and a little bit up in the 832 even. So I would say almost, except for Claremont, Windermere's a little down. Little part in Dr. Phillips is up and little part in Dr. Phillips is still a little down, but you'll see things are turning. We're still getting a little more listings brought into our marketplace. This is great news for us. What does it mean for a company that has heritage, that has global presence, that has a history of selling, that has the best agents and the best marketing? It means people are going to need us to sell their homes. Yes. It means I see a bright, sunny future ahead. We are going to have a strong market. Everybody's saying it, but people may actually not just put a sign in the yard and people will be lining up to buy them. This is a good thing. This is what I'm hopeful for. And actually, even after talking to Cliff yesterday, we had a wonderful discussion. We're both hopeful. No, he's not hopeful. We're on opposite sides of the table here. I'm hopeful. Aura is up to 20,000 members. 20,000. That's too many. We don't want 20,000 realtors in Aura. Geez, that's a lot. So, what happens when the market gets a little bit more normalized? It weeds out some of the people who necessarily shouldn't be realtors. The people who put $1 million realtor on their signature line that says, I can barely pay my dues. Those people. Trying to translate that for everybody. Yeah. So this is good for us. So this is exciting news. So for Sotheby's, I see bright and shiny future. So that's my crystal ball. And that's what I wanted to share with everybody. So yay. So happy birthday to our November birthdays. Beverly Brown, Christy Keene, Peter Lou, Michael Osborne, Louis Roman, I still have him on there. Luz Kalina, who was yesterday. Janice Edwards, yes. Chris Flynn, Sandy Harvey, Lynn Lou. And it's so interesting. Peter Lou and Lynn Lou have the same birthday, both on the 23rd. Barry Cook and Maria Caperas. Woo! And then just what's coming up. So on Monday, in person only at Dr. Phillips. We're doing YouTube TubeBuddy. We're going to actually prepare some upcoming so you can set up what we're doing for our YouTube. We're going to work through how to use thumbnails. We're going to really get into our YouTube TubeBuddy. And then on Thursday here, you could do in person or Zoom. We're going to how to set yourself up to get more business in 2022. Then the following week is Thanksgiving throughout all of my offices. I will be eating a lot of turkey. We will be giving thanks in Dr. Phillips at 1 on Wednesday, here in Lake Nona on Thursday at 1, and Friday at 1. So please see Jen, Cindy, or Caroline and sign up to bring whatever you care to bring. We're going to have drinks and food and whatever you want to make, and be merry and just have a nice meal together as a team. I am thankful for each and every one of you, and I'm looking forward to just sit down and laugh and eat together and share just some fun. And then we will be closing the office. We're going to close the office early on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. We'll close at 2. Thursday for Thanksgiving, we're closed, and Friday, Black Friday, we're closed. Will I be shopping? I don't know. Probably not. I think I'll be sleeping. But we will be closed. We will be having, and I'm still working on it, I would like to do one party, a big bash for my entire team. That's the goal. When? Great question. Where? Thanks for asking. I'm still working on those things, but I will get back to you on those fabulous upcoming details. If anybody has any suggestions or ideas, I've been working through so many. I'm still working on it, but it will be great. So working on that. Okay, so October stats. And how am I doing in time? I'm a little late. Okay, stats. South Orlando, that's Lake Nona and Ocala. We did 24.9 million in a listing. Woo! Congratulations. Tasha, Stacy, Anita, Susan Abshire, Amanda, Tatiani, Luciana, Wendy Fisher, she's not in here. Fran, Peter Lou, Kim Horvath, Jennifer Ramos, Martin Ramos, Alan Maycover, and Stephanie Cornelius. Woo! Okay, in our new sales, 11.2 million. Peter Lou, Kim Horvath, Martin Ramos, Jennifer Ramos, Tasha Osborne, Tatiana Aponte, Luciana Nevelef, Fran Goldflass, Miranda Katie, and Berta. Woo! I love little Berta. And our closed sales, 14.7 million. Woo! Peter Lou, Kim Horvath, Jennifer Ramos, Martin Ramos, Frank Goldflass, Tasha Osborne, Stacy Rollins, Tatiana Ponte, Luciana Nevelef, Mike Dalias Otopesa, Miranda Katie, Amanda, Susan Abshire, Sandy Oliver, Wendy Stevenson, Priscilla Vasquez, and Rafe Marshall. Woo! Okay. In Dr. Phillips, we did 16.4 million in listings. Congratulations, Carol Medeiros, Ash Sharma, Gordon Kyle, Susie Morrison and Sharon Brent, Chris and Julie Christensen, Carrie Bellish, Daniel Dorado, Jules Canero, Carla Rivera, Janice Edwards and Janet Allen, Janet Scott, and Jaime Liaison. Woo! New sales, 30 million. Woo! Congratulations, Emily Knudsen, Maria Quintero, Janice and Janet, Mara Laney, Carol Medeiros, Ash Sharma, Kelly Thompson, Sharon Brent, Susie Morrison, Carla Rivera, Tammy Schuster, Chris Christensen, Carrie Bellish, Marcus Malone, Daniel Dorado, Nick Baker, Robin Bokus, Lynn Liu, Andrea Entline, Teresa White, Wendy Fisher, Mark Shamley, and Janet Scott. Woo! And they closed 34 million. Some people are going to the bank. Congratulations, Marie Quintero, Tracy Nitzy, Daniel Dorado, Janet Allen, Janice Edwards Diaz, Carol Medeiros, Carol Rivera, Raj Goyal, Theo Daw, Bruno Machado, Susie Carr, Rosanna Parra, Luz Colina, Ben Hillman, who closed the highest sale in Windermere and Isleworth with Shaquille O'Neal's house. Woo! Good job, Benjamin. Mark Shamley, Janet Scott, Jaime Liaison, Alejandro Quell, Angie Platten, Brianne Mahone, Kelly Thompson, Susie Morrison, Sharon Brandt, Carolyn Vanderzide, and Nick Baker, Mitchell Freitas, Jules Canero, Dexter Colbreth, who sadly moved, Christina Colbreth, Ash Sharma, Tammy Schuster, and Marilyn Ogi. And in Claremont, in October, 3.3 million in listings. Congratulations, Dawn Giacchetti, our newest team member, Pam Eddy, and Janet Hoffman. Woo, by the way, she started on Friday and her new listing started on Friday. She got it signed the same day. And 2.3 million in sales, Don Giacchetti, Val Flaherty, and Tana Darley. And 4.4 million in closed sales, John Giacchetti, Val Flaherty, and Tana Darley. Awesome job. What an incredible October, guys. You guys are amazing. Nothing compares to working with an incredible group of not only professionals, but amazing people. I am grateful every day to work with each and every one of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I look forward to doing business plans with each and every one of you to make sure that we are set up to kill it next year. Not that we didn't kill it this year, but let's just keep shooting for the top. World domination, right? Have a great rest of your day. And if we haven't set up something, let's get on the calendar. Bye, guys.